I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty shocked by this. I'm pretty shocked by this. I'm sure you are too if you aren't already made aware of this. But NBC, or NBS really, unexpectedly confronted Joe Biden and his explosive rhetoric against Donald Trump. You know, the same Donald Trump who ear got popped July 13, 2024, due to rhetoric. Anyhow, let's go ahead and check out this interview, y'all. I can't wait to see it.
Well, let's talk about the conversation this has started, and it's really about language, what we say out loud and the consequences of those. You called your opponent an existential threat on a call a week ago. You said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. There's some dispute about the context, but I think you appreciate that.
I didn't say crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was, what I guess I was talking about at the time was there was very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing. Focus on his policies. Focus on the number of lies he told in the debate. Focus. I mean, there's a whole range of things that, look, I'm not the guy that said I want to be a dictator on day one. I'm not the guy that refused to accept the outcome.
You can see right here, right now, it was deflecting. Right now, it went from answering a question to now, oh, well, let's not make this about me. I'm going to make this about Trump. Just pay attention to the deflection tactic.
One, I'm not the guy that refused to accept the outcome of the election. I'm not the guy who said that won't accept the outcome of this election automatically. You can't only love your country.
I got to say this, anybody on either side, who's just going to accept it when there are hints of foul play, like on either side? Who's gonna? You can't just tell me to blindly accept something. Sure, I will accept it as long as it's presented fair. That's it. All right, I'll shut up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get off the screen.
When you win, and so the focus was on what he's saying, and I mean the idea.
But have you taken a step back and done a little soul searching on things that you may have said that could incite people who are not balanced?
Well, I don't think, look, how do you talk about the threat to democracy, which is real, when a president says things like he says? Do you just not say anything because it may incite somebody? Look, I have not engaged in that rhetoric. Now, my opponent is engaged in that rhetoric. He talks about there'll be a bloodbath if he loses, talking about how he's going to forgive all the, actually, I guess, suspend the sentences of all those who were arrested and sentenced to go to jail because of what happened in the Capitol. I'm not out there making fun of, remember the picture of Donald Trump when Nancy Pelosi's husband was hit with a hammer, joking about it?
This doesn't sound like you're turning down the heat, though. You've talked about the...
No. Look, when I'm turning down, we have to stop the whole notion that there are certain things that are contrary to our democracy that we're for. The idea of saying that I didn't win the election, when every court in the land, I don't know, 20 appeals said, and including this conservative Supreme Court, said we won. The idea of having a loyalty pledge from all the folks who are in the Republican MAGA, not all Republicans, the MAGA Republicans, saying that no, we lost the election, inflaming the people to say,
So what can you and what will you do, at least things you can control, to lower down the temperature, the rhetoric out there?
You're watching in real time the Democratic Party turn a back on Joe Biden. That's what we're witnessing right now. And the video cut off at the perfect time because the response he was going to say was going to be something like, I don't understand what the hell he was talking about right there. I mean, obviously I do, but as it relates to him actually answering the question, it was just straight deflection. It was, oh, well, how do you take responsibility and moving forward for this, and what are you going to do to make sure that, stuff like this doesn't happen? That's not exactly what he said, but just for the sake of the example. And then he goes, oh, well, it's not what Trump did this, Trump did that, and Trump did this, and Trump did that. It's like, You know, I don't think Biden realizes how much his rhetoric or the left's rhetoric contributes to what happened to Donald Trump on January 13th. I'm actually looking at this clip right now coming across my feed from MSNBS, a reporter who was told to get lost after he started lying about Trump as usual. Let's see what this is about.
What is that change going to look like, Don? What practically, your father as president, I think you would even say, was a divisive figure. What's it going to look like in the second term?
I don't think he was a divisive figure at all. I think the media created divisiveness around him. They lied about Russia collusion. They said he was a traitor. They went after him in every which way possible. If the media actually starts being an honest broker, talking about the things that he did, the prosperity he brought, the peace deals that he signed around the world, rather than the disaster that we're living right now, I think you'd do everyone in the country a big favor.
I know immigration's important to him. I covered the family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration?
You know they didn't do that, sir.
Okay, sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait with your lies and with your nonsense. So just get out of here.
And they sit back and wonder. You know, shout out to Donald Trump Jr. right there for confronting that reporter right to his face. I mean, he said, look, you clown, you couldn't even wait. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, we know the truth about the kids in the cages. We know that was definitely started when Obama was in office, but the media refuses to report that, and they distort the truth, and they create this divisiveness while saying that we're the ones being divisive. Bro, it is weird, but this is all attributed to the MAGA Republicans are a threat to the very soul of this country rhetoric that Joe Biden is continuing with. And he wonders why he sees F. Joe Biden signs everywhere he goes.
I've never seen a circumstance where you ride through certain rural areas of the country and people have signs there, big Trump signs with middle signs saying F. Biden, and the little kid standing there putting up his middle finger. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that is just inflammatory and a kind of viciousness. It's a very different thing than say, look, I really disagree with Trump's the way he takes care of taxes.
You know what, Biden? I have to agree. We haven't seen that either, man. At least in my lifetime, I haven't. But you know what? You came and the whole world changed. In fact, you helped us in so many ways. More than you hurt us, believe it or not. I mean, we're currently hurting, but you helped us more than you hurt us. Why? Because you actually implanted the curiosity in our minds to actually want to go find out the truth about things versus just listening to everything blindly. So I appreciate that. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. You're confused as to why you're getting this hate, man. Somebody just posted this tweet right here when Larry Elder actually posted this tweet where he pointed out Biden, quote, when he said, I have not engaged in that rhetoric, end quote, also Biden. This is what Larry Elder had posted, which is all of these tweets from Biden. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans are threats to the very soul of this country. Donald Trump is the greatest threat to our democracy. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. Right below where y'all can't see, he's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everything America stands for. And then we go over to the right. Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy, and we cannot let him win. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, talking to folks about what's at stake in this election. Tune in. Then we got this very last one. Trump poses many threats to our country, the right to choose, civil rights, voting rights, and America's standing in the world. But the greatest threat he poses is to our democracy. Oh my God, it's constitutional republic. If we lose that, we lose everything. Oh my God. We just gonna read some of the comments. Why would you show the truth like this? Come on, guys. Somebody wrote. What else we got here? What is this? I had to cut that short, boy. The comment section was getting a little radical. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I can't hide it on here, but as I'm making this video right now and I search into Twitter, I still call it Twitter, I searched for Biden, what just popped up was new Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle, good friend of Jill Biden and the new face of America's competency crisis, didn't post snipers on the roof where Trump was shot because it was a slope roof and she was afraid someone might slip and fall. You can't make this up. I don't know what this is. This is her official statement right here. Let me see. It says the building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point, and so there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof, she told ABC News in an interview. And so the decision was made to secure the building from inside. Wow. What transpired instead was a security nightmare. Thomas Matthew Crooks was able to scale the building and secure his own position while law enforcement struggled to locate him, even amid pressing warnings from members of the Trump crowd. But there wasn't sufficient time to act upon the tip, she explained. The shooter was actually identified. Whoa. Oh my God. Somebody wrote, doesn't this lady have Cheetos to guard somewhere? Wow. Here's why that's nuts. The sniper team was on a steeple incline than the shooter was, and neither have an incline that's a safety risk. Yep. Definitely sounds like a lot of me, y'all. She needs to be fired ASAP. First, she blames the local police. Now she blames the sloped roof. Apparently, the buck doesn't stop with her. You're fired. Where in the private sector can you be responsible for such colossal failure and still keep your job? We don't know. So the reason why that's crazy to me is because I understand it's a sloped roof, but you have the other snipers on the same on a sloped roof, bruh. And like the guy pointed out, it could have been even steeper. I don't get that, man. And you have somebody right here, guys, please stop bashing Kim Cheeto. She totally thought about putting snipers on that roof, but it's a sloped roof. She didn't want anyone to slip and fall. Okay, safety first. What? What? So dude clambered up and across that thin roof over the very heads of the Secret Service, and they didn't take notice. Oh man, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'ma just go ahead and say it. I'ma just put it out there. Y'all wonder why we don't like DEI hires. I'm just saying.
That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Too sloped, she said. It was too sloped. Oh no, man, it's starting to get more and more suspicious. Because remember, y'all probably sitting back wondering, how do we start this off with Joe Biden being incompetent and then we get to here? Because we're trying to show you the connections, okay?
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
So the buck stops with you?
The buck stops with me. I am the director of the Secret Service. It was unacceptable, and it's something that shouldn't happen again. The
President and Homeland Security Secretary said today they had 100% confidence in you, but there are some members of Congress calling on you to resign.
I appreciate the Secretary's comments, and we're going to continue to be transparent and communicate with people.
Do you plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay on.
I'm just saying, man, it feels like something real inside to me. It shouldn't have happened this time or any time. You are the Secret Service director. You sitting there and your excuse is you didn't want nobody to slip. And yet you literally debunked that when you show where the other snipers are. What have you been transparent about so far? Please explain that to me, Miss Kim. Just call it like it is. That was nothing but a disgraced performance from the United States, man. It really was. And her refusing to step down after the president was nearly assassinated under her watch, like Colin Rugg said, utter insanity. Let's read a few of these comments before I get up out of here. Secret Service is tasked with protecting the former president, not local law enforcement. They are only there to assist. Somebody wrote, and then the response to that was, I'm not sure if people actually realized that we were 1 inch away from watching the president get his brains blown out of his head on live TV. And these people are going around like, oopsie, sorry, won't happen again. If she doesn't step down, then she needs to be fired. No excuses. The Biden administration, they are very pleased with what she's doing. Trust me, they are in complete approval of her tactics. Don't worry, Trump will get rid of her. Somebody wrote, dear Lord, the Biden appointees are morons, but we already knew that. It would be such a relief to see them gone and intelligent replacements. It can happen soon enough. Needs to happen right now. Dom Lucre posted this last night. Secret Service Director Kim Cheeto got her job after being recommended by Jill Biden's office, according to New York Post. So I can't even get this together. According to New York Post sources. Why can't say post sources together? Wow, that was weird.
Us, we just kind of fit into the plan. I mean, we did have certain requirements with the president that we wanted to make sure that we addressed, but we have a great working relationship with them that's been fostered over numerous years. And so I think the visit went very well on our side, and it seemed to have gone very well for Britain.
Oh, lessons learned from
us.
I'm just saying, for Joe Biden and his administration, this does not help with the conspiracy theories surrounding this. Actually, this is helping prove them not to be conspiracy theories, is what it's leading up to. America, we are all sitting back and in awe right now and all trying to figure out what's happening, what's really happening. And we seeing all these connections. we seeing what the road leads to every single time, y'all.